Welcome to Momma-Sota, the podcast where we dive headfirst into the beautiful mess of motherhood. I'm your host, Monica Eickman, and I'm here to keep it real. In a world that changes by the minute, parenting can often feel like an uphill battle. We all want what's best for our children, but what that best looks like varies for every one of us. Momma-Sota is your passport to the unfiltered, unapologetic world of mommy. No perfectly edited snapshots or unattainable ideals here. We're here to share the ups and downs, the triumphs and tantrums, the mess and the beauty of being a mom. Join me as we explore the raw and authentic side of parenting. This is your safe space to vent, laugh, and learn as we navigate the unpredictable journey of raising strong, capable, and independent children for the future. Hey, mamas. Welcome to today's episode of Momma-Sota. Of course, you've got me, your host, Monica Eickman. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 very active children. Between school, sports, and other varying activities, we are always on the go. Previously, we spoke with Nikki Brunner of Mini Mama Adventures, and we have no intentions of slowing down. Joining us today is another local celebrity. We have special guest Gianna Kordatzky. She is a mother of 4 children herself and the co-founder of Family Fun Twin Cities. Welcome, Gianna, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, and also love Nikki. Nikki's the best.
Awesome. Well, I want to hear more about Family Fun Twin Cities, as well as some other projects that are of interest to you. But first, tell us more about you, your background, and your family.
I am a Minnesotan, born and bred, born in Moorhead, traveled all around the Twin Cities. Nope, not the Twin Cities, the state of Minnesota as a little kid. Like, we moved a bunch of times we moved from western Minnesota to central Minnesota to north, like Lake Superior, northern Minnesota. So, and then landed in western Minnesota, and that's where I grew up most of my years. So, very Minnesotan. I have been living in the Twin Cities since I graduated college in 1999. So literally, I think except for southern Minnesota, I've gotten it all. I know Minnesota. My husband and I have been married for 25 years. Wow, that's a long time. We've been married for 25 years, and we have 4 kids. Our oldest is in college, and she's freshman age of college, but she did a bunch of college in high school, and so she's actually a junior, which is nice, but also whoa. And then we have 11th grader and a 9th grader and an 8th grader. So we're in the teen years of parenting for sure.
You're a little bit ahead of me there.
Yeah, just a little bit. But also I remember the exhaustion of smaller children. They don't even have to be that much smaller. It's still exhausting.
All right. So we've got, like I said, you're the co-founder of Family Fun Twin Cities. So let's kind of start there. Tell us more about what that is, where we can find it, and what inspired you to start that.
Sure. Family Fun Twin Cities is a website that is a resource for parents to connect parents with the fun things to do around the Twin Cities. We keep a calendar. We keep a curated list of things to do each weekend. We go out and try new things and tell you about them that are around the cities. And we also try the things that have been around for a while that either had an upgrade or didn't, and we just weren't aware of it, so people can have a chance to check it out and be aware of what's around the Twin Cities. So literally, we are your one-stop shop for the fun to do in the Twin Cities. That is our main goal, is to be a place where you can find it all.
So after you guys go and experience some of these different events, is there like a blog on them, or what's the next step from there?
Yeah, usually there is something like that. Sometimes we do like an Instagram reel, or, and that usually means we also post to Facebook. But mostly, yeah, we usually have either like an entry in our directory, which is just basically a blog post with a little more of the detail about the place, or we have an actual article about things to do. My dog just joined me, and she's very friendly.
Oh, that's right. I've got my 1.5 joining me too. So that's Momma-Sota. We don't stop for anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, usually there's some sort of a write-up about it somewhere. Like, we have Children's Theater. We have a page about their most recent show with a review, like how to enjoy it when you leave the show. Like when the show is done, how can you bring the fun home? What to expect in the show, how to dress for the theater, those kinds of things, so that you don't have to figure things out, like, the detailed things out, because it's enough to just keep your kiddos happy and alive.
Yeah, so
let
you guys
alone
have figured
figuring
it
out
out
all the
for
details.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what inspired you to co-found the whole situation?
Okay, yeah, this is a super fun story. So I had a blog when my kids were little, like before I even had all four of my kids. I think I started it when my second was born, and I enjoyed it, and it was fun. And I hear that giggle, and do you hear that? Okay, I enjoyed the blog, but then I realized that I wanted to do something different. I needed to focus a little bit differently. So I started looking around for things to do around the Twin Cities, because I suddenly realized, this is by this time I'd had all four kids. But I realized, I was like, I don't know where to go to find things to do. Like, I know online. I know to go to the places I know about to see if they have things going on, but I don't know, I don't know how to find those places. So I started, I think I called it Twin Cities Family or something like that. And as I was looking around on the internet to help other people and myself figure out what to do with my little kids, I ran into Joy's blog, and I also ran into Anne's blog, and I also ran into another blog, but it didn't work out to have her join the team. But so we started talking about how can we help ourselves or help each other promote what we're doing. Joy had a blog called Free Family Fun, and Anne had a blog called Tour Moms. And so we just started meeting together and chit-chatting. And suddenly one day at one of those meetings, Anne said, what if we went into business with each other? And I'm like, I don't know you guys. I don't know you at all. Like, why would I go into business with you? That sounded super scary. But I said, if you wouldn't mind letting me just think about it for a little while, I'll let you know as soon as I come to a decision, right? And so they waited a month for me to come to a decision. And the decision was, well, let's try it. What can it hurt? And so April 2003, we opened up Family Fun Twin Cities together. And basically what we did is we took all of our blogs and put them all on one site. And then from there, it has, we've edited it and revised it and tweaked it and made it more of not blog, but just like a publication of events and things to do.
That's neat. I was going to say, you said 2003, which
Yep.
is like beginning of
No,
social
not
media.
2003.
Oh,
2013. Thank
13.
you for saying that.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
2013.
Well,
I didn't have any kids in 2003 yet.
good point on that one, I guess. I should have. So 2013, which is still kind of early stages social media, like where we are now is insane. And like you said, now even with social media pages, it's most common, at least for me, to be in like local groups. And so you see local events. But if, like you said, if you're looking for anything that's outside of your neighborhood, like you said, it's like, I know there's the children's, museum or the children's theater, what's playing. But if you don't, like you said, know those things,
right,
finding that is can be difficult.
That's exactly it. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly it. Like, I don't even know where to go to find something. I don't even know what there is. How can I go online and learn what there is?
Yeah. So with that, what's kind of well, okay, so let me back up a little bit. So you guys go into business here. At this point, are the three of you working moms outside of this new business venture?
Joy is a full-time and still is a full-time working mom. And Anne and I were stay-at-home moms.
Okay. Now, is that's still kind of the current setup then, besides obviously the doing this part of the business?
Right. Joy is still a working mom and actually just got a promotion. Woohoo!
Oh, great, Joy. Congratulations.
Yep. And Anne, some circumstances in her life have changed. And so now she's also I think she's like a 0.8, somewhere between 0.8 and full-time working mom. She actually works overnights. So that's a completely new thing for
That's
all
a
of us
whole
to
new
do.
dynamic. We might have to
Yeah.
talk to Anne on our show too to get that perspective. The working overnight mom.
Right. And then I started homeschooling my kids when they joined, when they got to 6th grade. We didn't start homeschooling in elementary school. We started in 6th grade for a variety of reasons, and have since started putting them back into school as they hit high school. So like kind of we all started having a full-time job, because homeschooling, if you're going to do it okay, I'm not even saying great because I didn't do it great. If you're going to do it okay, you kind of have to put a little time and energy into it. But yeah, they're all starting to go back to school, which is better for everybody. And so yeah, we've all had our like full-time working job as well as the site at the same time at one stage or another.
Awesome. So some of the other projects you kind of mentioned, and you'll have to fill me in for sure to see kind of where this all fits in, if it's part of Family Fun Twin Cities or if it's other ventures you're looking at. But we've got a weekend family fun guide, family fun calendar, and let's go do fun stuff show. So where do you want to start?
Oh, this is so exciting because literally each one of those like belongs to one of us. So
Okay.
the weekend family fun guide started a couple of quite a few years ago, but again, we've been tweaking. Nope, let me just say that again. This is Anne's baby. She has been tweaking this and making it as curated and as lovely as possible for people to come and find their, what they would be interested in. So it started with Weekend Family Fun Guide. Boom. Just come here and you can find the best of the best. Now she has tweaked it to be the Weekend Family Fun Guide for Minneapolis St. Paul, and the Weekend Family Fun Guide for the Northwest suburbs, and a Weekend Family Fun Guide for the Southeast suburbs, and Northeast suburbs, and North or Southwest suburbs. Like she's got 5 family fun guides so that you can go in and like go, I just want to be close to home today, right? Like,
Yep.
boom, here they are. So like that has been a project and a half, but it has been amazing. It is amazing. People will find what they need to find on that Weekend Family Fun Guide, wherever they want to go.
So with that, is that not even going to think of the right term with websites, but is that a piece of the Family Fun Twin Cities page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They're like, yeah, I don't even know the difference between everything. But
it's not a separate page, it's a piece of that page.
Well, actually they all have their own separate page, but you can get to each other like by clicking on things on that page.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I just want to make sure everyone
yep.
can find everything.
Yep, exactly.
And
then oh, go ahead.
1 second. Yep. With that, is it something that's put out like week in advance, month in advance, just so when people are planning and looking?
Right. It's usually okay, so we have a monthly guide for every month, but this is like probably a couple, like it's probably published like Tuesday or Wednesday before the weekend.
Perfect.
Because I know by Thursday it is published, because that's when we send out our newsletter that has the link to the Weekend Family Fun Guide.
Oh, yep, excellent. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So, yep, we know that most of our readers, they come to our site like without much planning. Like we have some of those great things you need to kind of make a plan for or a budget for. We have those on our site, but mostly it's I got to get out of the house today. Where can I go? Yep. So we've really honed in on that.
All right. So then we have Family Fun Calendar.
Okay. So this has been the building block of our site. Joy takes great delight and pride in our calendar because we have curated it. We've adjusted it, but we have curated it. So I think the most expensive thing on there would be $15 a person, I think. Which, when you have 5 kids, or not 5 kids, when you have 5 people in your family, that can be a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So, like, we have it sectioned off again into sections of the Twin Cities. We also have it divided up into free and not free. We also have a couple of other calendars like performing arts calendar. So if you want to go see a play or you want to see what's playing currently at some of the theaters that provide great family content, we have that. We have family fitness calendar, so like races like 5Ks and stuff. And I believe we have a teen calendar as well too. Yeah, we do have a teen calendar. So when your kids get to be a little older and don't really want to hang out with mom and dad, but they still want to get together with their friends, we have it's a smaller calendar because that's not our main group, but we still have that calendar.
No, that's nice though, because I kind of have a feature on my page as well where on Thursdays, I think Thursday mornings it pops up, but same sort of thing, just kind of a week of events. And I noticed the same thing at the beginning. It was like, okay, this is everything around me because that's the easiest for me to locate.
Yep.
But that's not going to capture the greatest audience. And same thing, it was like, these are 99% of these events are geared towards kids like 5 and under because that's who I'm home with. And so, yeah, reaching out and finding those activities and events for the older group. And like you said, too, the list I'm doing right now is currently just free activities. And so, yeah, trying to make sure that there is something for everyone and incorporate and find all of those. So that's good to know that there is a teen section because I think sometimes, once you get past like school age kids, the moms are like, okay, well, this isn't for me anymore.
Right. Well, and honestly, I didn't realize this. I didn't see this happening, but when my kids started becoming like 12, 13, suddenly you literally are their taxi cab because they make all their own plans because they can do that now, right? Like, I mean, they have to clear it with us, obviously, but if they're going to be in a sport, you're just driving them everywhere. You don't have time to like go, what are we going to do today? Because it's already figured out for you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So that third sector was lost it. Oh, family. No, let's go do fun stuff show.
Yes, this is my baby. Okay. So the Let's Go Do Fun Stuff show has, again, as we grow and change and get better at things, this is like our YouTube channel show / podcast that I am starting to interview people around the Twin Cities, anybody, right? Like I'm not just interviewing a few people. I'm not just interviewing parents. I'm interviewing people like authors and local business owners and things that interviewing things that families would enjoy doing, right? Like, so I'm going around and interviewing them. And then at the end of the show, we have a weekend top 3. So we highlight 3 things. Usually, they're not always free. They're not always, I try not to keep them all in the same areas of the Twin Cities. Yep. I think one time though it was all St. Paul because it was I couldn't pick one. They were so great.
St. Paul was rocking it that weekend.
Yeah, right. So like that's my baby because I love like doing interviews, talking to you. I love talking to people. I think talking to people is so much fun, and that's how this whole thing started with me anyway. I just wanted to see what was out there and learn about it. So we're doing that again, only this form is, podcast / YouTube channel. Nice. And I love it. Love it. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
This is our 2nd year. So we've been doing it about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is neat. With all of these 3 pieces, it's a lot. So I'm not knocking him when I say, is there anything on the horizon or kind of new upcoming projects that you guys are looking at?
Currently, no, because the Weekend Family Fun Guide is in process. Like every week she has to redo it. So yep. Once she's got a whole year down, then it's just going to be a drop in kind of a thing, and it won't be so much work. The calendar is considerably ongoing. Like,
right. Yeah. There's always new events popping up, right?
Yeah. At one point, Joy rarely asks for help, but one day she sent us a message and we're like, oh my goodness, there's so much going on. And then the Let's Go Do Fun Stuff show is still so new that's I think tweaking that is on the horizon, if that makes sense.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So then with all of that, and like you said, we've seen any job with COVID has spun our abilities to do things virtually.
Yeah.
How does your guys' kind of work day and balance both like with each other or alone? How are you managing all of that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, together as a team, because Anne works overnights, basically during the day, if Joy finds, a few minutes at work where she can, send a message or something, she and I will talk during the day a little bit, like, and kind of come to a consensus between us two, and then we leave it on our message boards for Anne to say yay or nay to while she's up and doing her overnights. So that's kind of how we communicate. We use Google Workspace, and they've got a really good chat option on there. And usually, like, Anne does all her stuff overnight because while she's working, she also has a lot of time because it's overnight.
Yeah, that's the nature of the job.
Exactly. And so she does some of that, and then I usually start working after I do my homeschool work with my youngest son around 11. And then Joy literally loves putting things into the calendar, so she does that whenever she has free time because she thinks it's fun. She's like my hero.
We all have our strengths, right?
Exactly.
You're like, what is for me to do and what can I outsource today?
Right. Exactly. Like, I don't know how you can think this is fun, but I'm glad you do.
So you said it's your youngest that you're still homeschooling?
Yep, I homeschool him for half of his classes, and then our school district lets him go part-time. So he does 3 classes at home and 3 classes at the middle school.
And will this be the last year of that hybrid, or are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, he's very excited to go full-time to school. Also, like, not at the same time.
Right?
Yeah, he was 4th grade because that was COVID.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
That's an interesting nuance, though, with being able to do part homeschool and part in the classroom. Just, I would think, as far as middle school is a huge time when like those friend groups are forming and not wanting to kind of be like left out of the crowd,
Yeah. And that's definitely there for sure. And then also he was on the Nordic ski team this year with the high school. So he, even next year going to high school, he'll already have people there that he knows, which is kind of like comforting for me, his mama, and also like nice for him to feel comfortable with some people already in the school before he dives in.
So I would say, I would consider yourself even still partially stay-at-home mom, because like you said, the homeschooling isn't the whole day either. So you're balancing being stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom, working on the Family Fun Twin Cities. How would you, and then obviously just family life in general, balancing all of those commitments can be quite a challenge. What's your go-to strategies, or how do you balance all of that?
I put everything on my calendar. So like whether I obey my calendar or not, it's on there. So like I have blocked out on my calendar time for school. Well, actually not the school. So okay, other than school, I block everything on my calendar. So school is done around 11, and so on my calendar it have from 11 to 2 Family Fun Twin Cities, right? And like I try to keep things there. And then or like today, because he is an 8th grader, since we're recording a time outside my Family Fun Twin Cities, I was able to say, okay, this is what you need to get done, right? Like I've got that flexibility.
You're independent enough. I can set up ahead of time what you need to study and work on.
Exactly. And then once like 3:00, 3:30 rolls around, then it's like mom mode, right? Like after school, driving to practice, after
Taxi service
school.
comes up.
Yeah. Yep. And making dinner, right? Like dinner. We have to eat every day. Did you know that?
Yeah, that daunting thing. Jeez.
Yes. So yeah, at least now I don't have kids asking for a snack every 20 minutes, but
I was gonna say, my middle child just stormed in. I didn't know if you heard that, but she opened the door and I already had her snack on the table because I knew that was gonna happen.
right. Well, now I go to the shelf and I'm like, oh, we're out of that.
Oh, right.
Okay.
And no one tells you, of course, when they take the last snack.
Of course. Why would they do that?
That would be too easy.
Or if they do, it's at a time where I can't do it right. I'm not doing mom stuff right now, right? Like,
of course.
Yeah.
So calendar, I agree. That would be that's my saving grace also. My husband's still, are you paper calendar or is everything on your phone?
Both. I do a combo.
Yep.
For sure.
I've got my paper planner and my husband is always like, what is this? Nobody uses paper anymore. I'm like, I do. I can't keep my life straight without it.
Exactly. But I've got my phone calendar, right? Because that goes everywhere with me. So like I always know what's on my calendar because I don't always bring my paper planner with me. I usually leave the table open for me to see at home.
That's where mine's sitting.
So yeah, exactly. But I like the doodling on my paper calendar and writing it down. It feels good.
I was gonna say, I tend to find too on my paper calendar, I just don't end up with the mistakes like I do on my phone because I changed one time. My phone wants to put everything in a 1 hour block. So I changed the end time, that's 2 hours, and I don't realize the begin time jumps to make it only 1 hour. And then I'm like, what is going on?
Exactly. It's super fun. Super fun.
Well, so if you're a calendar mama, then the Family Fun Twin Cities and the calendar just all fits right perfectly together.
Exactly. And Joy and Ann are calendar people too, so that works out for everybody.
Nice. One moment here. We've got a question from the outside. What's up, baby doll?
Can I go in Dawson's house for slime?
You may play with slime for a moment in Dawson's house. Okay. Thank you for asking. They don't always ask. Sometimes they just take off. That's my 4-year-old. So.
Right. Well, they're independent and can do everything on their own. So when they do ask, you're like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, that's a win. Even though we interrupted, it's a win.
Exactly.
So you've got your plate and hands and everything full, but you still you guys like to do camping and traveling and all of that. How do you prioritize creating those experiences within your family?
I think it's the calendar. Seriously. Every year we put down a camping trip in the summer with some friends of ours. Last year we went to Scotland. It was just the two married couples. We were celebrating our anniversaries. So we went to Scotland. But other than that, like before the summer even rolls around, we put camping on our calendar so that we can make sure that happens. Things like reading, I love reading, but I kind of just have to fit that in wherever I can. And sometimes it means I ignore my kids, just saying. Traveling, that's not really a priority thing. It's just something that we love to do. So when we can make it happen, then it becomes the priority. Does that make sense? Right? Like, I'm not saying, oh, I have to travel somewhere. I'm saying on this date, we want to go visit somebody in California or somebody in North Carolina or, like that kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's a once in a while thing. So it's not really a priority except when it's going to happen, then it becomes the priority. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I was going to say with the kind of, like you said, the two things with the calendar, my husband and I kind of did the same thing at the end of last year. There was a few things for this year that are date specific, like the events going on at this time. And we decided if that was something we wanted to do, it was going to go on our calendar now So when any other birthday party popped up or sports practice or whatever it might be, we have, this already on the calendar as we have a prior commitment. This, this new invite is not going to happen.
Right.
And then the travel things, ours is a little bit based on him with work because he goes to all these different conferences. So then we try to, add days on the front end or back end to make those into our family travels. But otherwise, like you said, same thing. It's the new events come up there, and those get put onto the calendar.
Yeah. And generally it's based on people, right? Like our Scotland trip was even kind of based on people because we wanted to go with our friends. And so we had to figure out when it worked for all of us to go at the same time, right? But other things like we visited family in North Carolina this past year because it wasn't to go see North Carolina, though it was super fun and we loved it. It was to go spend time with our family, right? And then a couple years ago, we went to California. Same thing. Going to California, we added a couple days on the back end, but it was to go visit these friends who were getting married, right? Like that's the kind of travel we do. We go to visit the people we care about.
Yep. And I would say that, that's really, really, I mean, not, like I said, not exactly the same, but same with the destination is chosen based on that. And then what's the other things we can do while we're there? Same with our conferences. It's like, well, we're going to Florida or to this specific place because that's the destination of the conference. What else is around?
Exactly. Absolutely. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And that's why we need more like family fun Twin Cities in all of these other states, because that's the same thing I run into every time. I'm like, what can we do while we're there?
Right.
And of course, the very basic, playground, parks, museums, all of those pop up. But like you said, what's actually something I can do specific this weekend?
Right. And we have friends all over the country and even a couple in Australia and Canada that have sites like ours. They're around the country. Like I have a friend in Indiana, in Indianapolis. I have a friend in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I have a friend in somewhere in South Carolina. I can't remember what town it's in. And a bunch in California. And like they are around, but we also have to know that they're there.
Well, right. I was going to say, so here's my business idea for you guys, if it's not already something you have. A link on your page where people can search a city and see if there's any people you guys already know that can link to their page.
You know what? I think we do. I can send that to you. I think we do.
Please.
Yeah, I will send that to you.
That would be awesome. I'd love to feature that and use it myself.
Yeah, I gotta find it. So yes.
That's what we all do. We all have to collab.
Yep, exactly.
Well, that sounds fantastic. And I think what you guys are doing is amazing and super helpful.
Thank you. It was super fun to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about your podcast.
Well, thank you. So before we kind of wrap up then, is there any other experiences or projects that you want to share with everybody?
Projects? Like, are you thinking like Family Fun Twin Cities projects or life projects?
Anything. Hit us, Gianna. What do you have?
Okay, so I have a son who does not like reading, which is hugely disappointing to a family that loves reading.
Yep, I love reading, so we'll see where that goes with our kids. I mean, I only have one just starting at 6 years old, so.
Right. Reading is not easy for him. He might have a little dyslexia. He also might not. It's just not easy for him. And he's worked really hard to read. And, I have learned, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but maybe just to encourage people.
That's perfect.
Okay, good. I have learned that he still loves stories. He loves stories. He'll listen to audiobooks like crazy, right? And he can read and he does read, but he'd rather not read. So I'm like, okay, he loves stories. He loves a good movie, which is, another way of telling a story. And I'm just going to be grateful that he loves stories. And I'm not going to force him to love something he doesn't love. So that's been something big in my heart, actually, of accepting my kid for who he is and not trying to change him. Now we all need to grow. And he has been growing and he has been working on his reading, but I don't have to define his worth by what he can and cannot do. And he's a great kid, and everybody loves him. Like, everybody loves him. So that's always fun too.
I love that. And I think that's kind of a great closing point, because I mean, I'm an adult and I get to choose whatever I want to do and not do. And I say, I don't know how many times I say, I don't like doing stuff that I'm not good at.
Right.
You know? So it's like,
right.
If I'm recognizing as an adult, and like he's probably recognizing as a child, like, this isn't my strong suit, so I don't necessarily enjoy it. And a lot of times I think as adults and as teachers, and especially when we're talking about something like reading, like you said, we keep trying to like force the issue. So I think that's a great closing thought, is just, like, accept what it is and how can we embrace that. And like you said, he loves stories, so let's just go another route with that.
Yeah. And yes, he has to be able to read. You can't, I mean, you need to learn to read, and he can. So we're just going to kind of leave it at that, and we'll just work with what we've got. And he's a really I got no words. It's just really important to me, because I was like, I'm going to have all readers. We're all going to sit in the summer on the grass reading our books. Nope. He's like, be done. Let's go do something.
That's excellent. Well, Gianna, thank you so much for sharing all of Family Fun Twin Cities with us. It's an amazing resource. Thank you, of course, all of our listeners. And if you aren't already checking out Family Fun Twin Cities, make sure that you are. And enjoy the rest of your day, all of you. And until next time, just keep doing your best. Thank you for joining me on this roller coaster of momming right here on Momma-Sota. I hope you enjoyed our candid conversation about all things parenting, where perfection is left at the door and real life takes center stage. Stay tuned for more heartfelt, unfiltered discussions in the next episode. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review Momma-Sota on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us. Until next time, this is Monica Eickman signing off. Keep rocking that mom life, and remember, you've got this.